let's move on.
Yeah.
This guy, what's his name? Danny, one Danny guy. I don't know his, but it's on X. I saw it exposed on X. It was talking about him not believing in God and that people should leave him alone. If God has helped you, leave me alone. God hasn't helped you. God should go and help the poor people that believes in him and what have you and all. You know, what's up with the guy? What does he do? Do you know anything about him? What does he do? One Danny guy.
Ajebo Danny.
Is it Ajebo Danny?
That's his username.
What does he do
on X?
Well, who is he?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, he claims to be a crypto.
Is he crypto? He said he's a social commentator. I don't know.
Yeah, he claims to be a crypto guy.
And then he said his location is Dubai.
Nah.
He's UAE now. That's what I saw on his.
Yeah, I don't know.
UAE.
Anyways, yeah. So with Ajebo Danny, right? It's hard to tell. Is he doing it for clout or is he being for real? I see a lot of his posts on X. He's one of the people who are pro everyone should use their brain and stop being led like sheep to the slaughter, right? He was very vocal about around the election period, you know, how we shouldn't allow. I don't know if he's obedient. Yeah, okay. Well, it was vocal about how people shouldn't allow ethnic and tribal agendas to sway our decision making and everything. And I get where that tweet has come out, because now we've seen it 1 year into the new administration. Hunger is rife in the land, suffering has increased, and he's in that "I told you so" phase, right? Where he's saying, I warned y'all, right? But you guys probably thought I was just, looking for clout. Now that you are suffering, you guys should not come and attribute. And I remember he was making a statement like, he said, when people begging for money and he gives them money, and the people think that praying for him is like a good exchange for the fact that he's helped you with money. And he was saying something like, he tells them not to pray for him. Don't pray for me when I give you money, right? Because if your prayers worked, you'd have prayed for yourself and you wouldn't be in a position to ask me for money in the first place, right? I don't know if he's an atheist or not. His tweet definitely sounded like he was, trying to start something, where he was saying, I don't believe in God. He said God did not help him, right? To achieve the success he's achieved in his life, right? He believes he's become successful because of the hard work he's put in. And, he doesn't want God to help him. Let God help all the other people who are poor, who are begging for money, who are, destitute, who don't have where to sleep, they're sleeping on the bridge. God should go and help them. It's fine. He doesn't want God's help. That's essentially what his tweet was saying. And people had different reactions to that, right? For me, I believe in God strongly because I'm a very spiritual being. I might make joke and I might, appear like a very unserious boy, but I'm very spiritual, right? So I've experienced certain things in my life that are beyond the ordinary. Mm. And when you have those kind of experiences, you have no choice than to believe that, the supernatural is real, right? Mm. And if the supernatural is real, then you probably want to believe that there are some entities in that realm that, control the realm, right? And I think that the supernatural world superimposes with the earthly world, right? There's that superimposition where you are constantly interacting with both realms. Mm. Many of us are oblivious of it completely. Some of us, or some people, are very aware of it. Mm. If you're very aware of it, you understand that God exists, right? And just because some of the things that you've tried out in life has worked out, and you've made some efforts, and those efforts have given you return, there's a temptation to think that all you need in life is just to put in the work. Mm. And if you put in the work, you get the rewards, right? There's that temptation to feel that way. My opinion, people like that, you don't know what God has done for you. God has helped you because you don't have territorial powers sitting on your case. You don't have village people sitting on your case. Your life is free, is unencumbered by malevolent entities. So you are free to sow and reap. There are people who are sowing. They are putting their best seeds. They are waking up in the middle of the night to weed their plantation. They are watering it. They are applying pesticide. On the day of harvest, zero. And they can't explain what's happening. Like they can't explain why that's happening to them. For those kind of people, their experience or their reality is totally different from Daniel's reality, right? Those guys know that they are battling supernatural forces, imperial supernatural forces, and they cannot win on their own. They need to rely on a supernatural force that's stronger than their opposition to triumph. So I don't want to be, I don't want to make any comments in terms of his person, whether he's right or he's wrong. I'll say I'm happy for him that life hasn't showed him the other side, right? He's successful, he's young, he's made money, he's having a good life. If God wanted to show him that he needed God, yeah, I mean, it could be ugly. It could be ugly for him. Real quick.
Funny enough, I don't really have much disputing to do with what he said, really. But the only way I'm going to look at it, or the only way I'm going to judge what he said, is he doesn't believe in God. That's just it. That's fine. But what he actually said is true. I say it's true because God has put us on this earth, to make things work for ourselves. God is not going to come and physically do stuff that we are supposed to do for ourselves. That is why a nation that is not doing what they should, a nation that is not hardworking, that cannot do what they need to do to till the ground, to make things work for them, they're going to have a lot of poor people. They're going to have a lot of, bad policies. They're going to have a lot of thieves. They're going to have a lot of thieves in, government office. They're going to have a lot of, and all. So I can't, there's this thing when people mention God and everybody, oh, no, don't say anything about
with
that.
Capital letter G.
Yeah. No. But
Capital letter G.
Yeah. But what the guy is saying is actually true. It's true as in the sense like, God cannot come physically to help anybody because he has given us the wherewithal to, make ourselves successful, make our lives better on earth. If you cannot do it, that's not the fault of God. But there is, but then if you now recognize, if you recognize the sovereignty of God over your life, just like you said, if you recognize the sovereignty of God over your life and you get to work, things will happen for you.
Yeah.
It's just, and he that is working is just the law. Sorry, it's just the law of nature. It's the law that God has put in nature. If you work, you're going to make money. There is no, Elon Musk doesn't believe in God. He's still struggling to believe that maybe there is a God somewhere. No. He's still struggling. Do you get?
Yeah.
But Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Do you get? So he's not troubled about how to make money or how to do this or how to do that. I know. Moziko, this man that we talked about just now, Bill Gates, I don't even think that one needs Jesus in his life. I don't even think that one knows God. That one needs Jesus. It needs a lot of Jesus, more Jesus in his life. Unless,
bro, I'm going to say something controversial. I'm going to say something controversial. I feel like Bill Gates is actually like dragging with the Antichrist at this point in terms of who's going to have more relevance. My man is just trying to be like up in there, across everything.
That one is even another.
So he needs to find Jesus Christ more so that we separate him from the Antichrist Jesus.
Seriously, he needs Jesus Christ in his life. So what Danny said, I'm not feeling any any funny about it because he's saying the right thing. If you're always using God to kind of, what's it called? Guilt trip people or make people feel like, oh, and all and everything. I really, but then he himself, he needs God because he makes money, because he's living large or because he has what's it called? Some Benz that is driving or what have you and all. And he's feeling all fly and all. That's actually not, what's it called? That's not where he needs to put his own relevance.
I think
he
doesn't
need to put his relevance there.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to get some clout.
Yeah. I think that's
it's not Bonnie we're not to believe in God. I think he believes in God. Yeah. Because so he's anti-church or he's anti-Nigerian churches. Let me rephrase. He's anti-Nigerian pastors, right? I'm also anti-Nigerian pastors. In fact, some of my friends used to think I ran AWOL and became an atheist because
they ask you, what thing they do?
Yeah,
some of your friends, I'm sure they will text you around 2 a.m. Larry, are you sure you're fine? Are you sure everything is fine?
Yeah. Early on in my when I started my journey to spiritual and enlightenment, some people thought I'd become like an atheist because I was always speaking against a lot of things that the Nigerian churches were doing and pastors. So there is that tendency to misconstrue someone like him, Danny, and to think he's an atheist. I think he believes in God. I think what irritates him the most, which is similar to me, is how people tend to suspend their own brains and suspend their own logical thinking capacities and capabilities and allow religiosity to completely shroud and envelope their state of mind. I think that's where his disgust comes out from. And that's why I was saying, listen, God did not help me, right? Let God help you, right? Let God help you so that your own life too can look good and you can see some results in your own life, right? I'm good. You get it? And that statement he made was very profound to me, where he said, if he gives someone like a poor person money and he tells them that, they want to pray for you, like, oh, God will bless you, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, don't worry, don't pray for me. It's fine. Just take it and go. Right? I don't need your prayer. And some people might be like, oh, you're being proud or, you're full of yourself. But if you dip it, right? If your prayer, that prayer that you want to pray for me, that I'll be more successful, that my pockets will not run dry. If you pray it for yourself and that God
actually
you think that
you
that I need,
like you want
if
to
he's helping you, you will not be in a position to be asking me for money, right? So keep your prayer. I don't need it, right? Rather, what you probably need to be doing is asking yourself, what can I do?
Yeah, I need to get to work.
I need to get to work. Yeah. What can I do to make this bread? What can I do to make this paper? Right? I don't want to be going from place to place, hand to mouth, begging, right? And praying for people that their own pockets will not run dry. What can I do? What can I put my time and effort into so that my own pocket won't run dry? Right? And I think that's the reverse engineering of our mindsets that we need to do. A lot of poor people that we have around us are not poor because of their background or circumstances. Sure, you have some people who their background and their circumstances set them behind. But I've found out that a good number of people that are poor today are poor because of their mindset.
Yeah, it's conditioning.
Yeah, the way they think, right? Some people have the most audacious level of entitlement that you can ever think about.
Yeah.
That's what's pulling them behind. Some people are extremely lazy, right? They don't want to be able to put in their own time and effort and break their own backs to work. They just want people to feed them and give to them. Maybe because they have some rich brother or their dad is rich or they have some rich uncle. Automatically, they just don't feel like they need to work hard anymore, right? And that's why they remain poor. Some people just remain poor because they are envious, right? They look at everyone around them working hard, making progress. And instead of them to like admire this success and also aspire to attain it, they just become jealous and envious. And that envy is what actually, that envy mixed with pride is what stops them from walking up to their cousin and saying, bro, I saw how you started this thing like barely 2 years ago. 2 years in, you've opened 2 shops. Like, bro, show me the way now. Link me up. What's going on? Because
Put
of
that
envy and pride, they would rather keep quiet and keep beefing that their cousin instead of stepping forward and asking for the keys.
So is he now begging that it's now the way out?
Bro, I'm telling you, that's why they are poor. Their mindset, the way their mind is wired is so weird. Like, it keeps them down. And I guess maybe that's where they need God's help.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not faulting anything that most of what Danny said, but Danny also needs Jesus in his life. You can't say because, I mean, you have made it and all that, then you are now arrogant.
So what do you mean by need Jesus?
He needs Jesus now. He doesn't need Jesus for money.
That's under the assumption that Jesus is the only way to spiritual enlightenment.
I mean, you said he's always against church. That's my first time of coming across the guy. I don't really know him.
Okay.
But you said he's talking about
No, I'm just saying that what makes you think that Jesus is the only
if he's always concerned about churches, then that means he has issues with Jesus. And I'm saying he needs Jesus in his life.
I don't know.
He needs Jesus.
I don't know. I don't even know how to unpack what you're trying to say. Maybe you need to articulate it better for me, but it's fine.
I mean, like I said, you said he's always talking about churches.
Yeah, it's anti-church. It's anti-pastors, not church. It's anti-Nigerian pastors. Let me be clear.
Yeah. So, I'm saying like, it doesn't stop at him just having money.
Yeah.
Our life is spiritual.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there is a God somewhere. You know, if you are one of those that thinks, you know, because you have made money or because you have some change in your pocket and you're now putting your nose in the sky, like putting your nose in the cloud, like as if there is no God.
Yeah.
Ask them in the Titanic ship. You know what they said before they got on the ship? Even God cannot sing this ship.
Crazy shit.
Even God cannot sing this ship. And we know what happened after that.
It sunk.
Yeah. So, I mean, Danny boy, you know, I mean, take it easy. I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, but turn it down a notch.
Yeah.
All the way down. Yeah. Turn it all the way down, bro.
All the way. Take it down 1,000.
1,000, bro.
There's a God somewhere looking after our
I like his Benz though. Look good. But you know the funny thing about Benz?
Consumes well.
Not really that. Like, it's not going to really save you if you get an accident. Like, all it takes is just one busted tire or something. It's gone.
Na money kill him.
Yeah, money kill him, bro. So unless you have like enough money to buy
Danny boy, if Danny boy can carry it now.
He can probably buy a second Benz. That one good. I'm just saying that like that Benz has a way of making you feel like
as if he has arrived.
You have arrived, yeah. And you just feel like, man, I'm walking on water. You know, I'm good. I can get it. But if something happens to the Benz and you probably not like need to buy another one, it's probably going to be insured anyways. It's probably going to be insured. Insurance will cover it.
Okay, well, maybe he's insured it.
I don't know though.
I want to believe that Danny boy would have.
You didn't insure your Benz, Danny. If you didn't,
I want to believe Danny boy would insure it because he's not depending on God. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So he must have insured.
So you have to have insured it. First.
So let's go on a break. We'll be right back, and then we'll wrap this thing all up.